Taylor Sheridan's oil drama is composed of explosive moments, and each Landman character has a scene that could be considered their best segment. Landman Season 1 debuted on Paramount Network alongside the final season of Yellowstone. Like Sheridan's flagship work, Landman's cast is full of dynamic characters that help drive the story of the neo-Western series, making for a memorable saga. Landman's first 10 episodes are full of moments just as unpredictable and harrowing as the West Texas oil fields that Billy Bob Thornton's Tommy Norris manages. Still, sometimes it's just Tommy's wife and daughter, Angela, Ali Lata, and Ainsley Norris, Michelle Randolph, adding fuel to the fire. With Landman Season 2 on the horizon, it's worth revisiting the Landman cast's best moments, since Landman Season 1 could be setting up a show that lasts as long, or longer, than Yellowstone. 8. Tommy Norris explains the oil industry to Rebecca. Landman Season 1, Episode 3, Hell Has a Front Yard. Tommy explains the oil industry to Rebecca Falcone, Kayla Wallace, in Landman Episode 3, and it's the MTEX fixer's best moment. Norris' monologue encapsulates much of the messaging of Landman, with Tommy sending a foreboding message that the world is reliant on oil, whether it's ethical or not. Therefore, Tommy's conversation with Rebecca is Sheridan's mouthpiece for the show's core ethos. As they go out to visit the crash site, Tommy tells Rebecca that the world relies on petroleum products after Rebecca spots a wind turbine. She asks if the clean energy industry threatens the oil business and questions Tommy sardonically about how wind energy could put a strain on the environment. The conversation leads to the base of a wind turbine, which Norris explains the complications of. 7. Angela Norris hosts a paella dinner. Landman Season 1, Episode 9, Wolf Camp. While not her brightest moment, Angela Norris' most memorable scene is when she hosts a paella dinner in Landman Episode 9. Angela tells her dinner guests that the dish is a traditional Spanish meal. When Angela instructs the guests to share a plate, almost everyone is on board, except for Tommy. Angela's ex-husband refuses to stand so that he can eat the dish in the traditional manner she suggested. Saying that it looks the same and uses the same ingredients, Angela's dinner guests mistake her main course for jambalaya. Angela memorably antagonizes her guests for their misconceptions, squeezing Dale's, James Jordan, hand when Ryder, Mitchell Slaggart, calls it jambalaya. The moment is comical, but also shows Angela's duality, coming around to Tommy saying that he had a long day. Cooper Norris relives Ariana's memories with her. Landman Season 1, Episode 10, The Crumbs of Hope. As one of the more morally sound characters in Landman, Jacob Laughlin's Cooper Norris has his fair share of good moments. However, Cooper's highlight is when he shows Ariana the depth of his compassion in Landman's finale, offering to walk through her old photos and memories so that she can properly grieve her life with Elvio, Alejandro Acara. The gesture allows Ariana to come to terms with her loss without having to push Cooper away. It's memorable how understanding Cooper is. Aligning with his character, Cooper chooses to be empathetic about Ariana's situation, rather than feeling hurt or jealous, which adds to his good qualities and reinforces his reputation for always doing the right thing. While Cooper has a plethora of endearing moments, this one with Ariana struck the right emotional chord and proved their connection could last. 5. Ainsley Norris explains her sex rule to Tommy. Landman Season 1, Episode 1, Landman. Ainsley is a high school student and a bit self-absorbed in Landman Season 1. That said, we see character growth from Ainsley in the first season, as she navigates her journey of finding the right romantic partner, breaking up with Dakota Loving, Drake Roger, and eventually falling in love with Ryder. That said, Ainsley's most memorable moment comes in Landman's pilot as her journey begins. Tommy takes Ainsley to a football game in Landman's pilot, hoping to prove what a tool her boyfriend is. While at the game, Tommy asks his daughter about her romance, and Ainsley opens up about the rule that she and Dakota keep to practice safe sex, saying, "As long as he never comes in me, he can come anywhere on me." While controversial, the scene is doubtlessly Ainsley's most memorable. 4. Rebecca Falcone crushes the opposing counsel in Tommy's deposition. Landman Season 1, Episode 4, The Sting of Second Chances. Rebecca Falcone's best scene is Tommy's deposition, convincing opposing counsel to accept their settlement offer in Landman Episode 4. While the meeting begins as a standard deposition, it quickly escalates as Rebecca calls out her opponents for objecting to Tommy's statements. When the other lawyers ask Rebecca to pause the recording, that's when she heats up. Her opponents tell Falcone they were playing the pissed-off litigator while she was still being bathed by her daddy. The sentiment prompts Rebecca to unleash a series of legal threats against the lawyers. As Falcone's delivery intensifies, telling the attorneys that she will hang their law degrees above her toilet, the opposing counsel calls uncle, with Rebecca convincing them to accept MTEX's settlement offer outright. 3. Monty Miller convinces the governor to run drills in MTEX's oil fields. Landman Season 1, Episode 8, Clumsy, This Life. Monty Miller's, John Hamm, best Landman scene is when he meets with Texas Governor, Maxwell Caulfield, and convinces the leader to have the National Guard run drills on MTEX's oil fields. Miller requests military intervention on Tommy's behalf, as Jimenez, Alex Meraz, continues to appear at the oil patch and make threats. Tommy wants to scare the cartel away, and Monty proves that he has Norris back. In Monty's scene with the governor, we see all parts of his character. We watch as Miller enters the dining room where he meets with the lawmaker, composing himself as he prepares to make another deal. We see Miller's finesse in the negotiations, building an ironclad case for why it benefits all parties for the governor to send the National Guard out to the oil patch to practice drills rather than commute to the nearest military base. Cammy Miller steps up to run MTEX. Landman Season 1, Episode 10, The Crumbs of Hope. Cammy Miller, Demi Moore, shines after Monty's death in Landman's finale, stepping up to run MTEX oil. While Tommy became the president after Monty was declared incapacitated, Norris makes it clear that Cammy is the one calling the shots, since the future wealth of MTEX is her family's security. That said, Cammy must make a significant decision immediately upon assuming a larger responsibility in the company. Tommy and Monty were in the middle of a farm-out deal, in which they planned to take a risk that could yield huge payouts, potentially earning billions. Tommy warns Cammy of the farm-out's risks, urging her to sell assets instead of threatening them, but Miller boldly follows through with her husband's deal. The moment shows Cammy's resilience and sets up Demi Moore's leading role as Cammy Miller in Landman Season 2.